On today's episode of Identity, we sit down for coffee with the inspiring entrepreneur Abdullah Verachia. Then we join a young team of volunteers from the Joseph's Project in Johannesburg. In our media review segment, we take a look at the Pocket Expense app and the movie Women in Gold. And playing us out is the fresh sounds of Isabe Novella with Moya.
I am an individual with an imagination. My inner faith illuminates innovations. In a space with infinite inspiration, I was born free from all incarceration. Incredible, living infallibly, intelligent, outshine with my inner being. This is me, impeccable as ever been. I am you, you are me. This is my identity.
Sanibonani nginibingelele nginamukele ku Identity luhlelo loluthandzako emsakatweni lowuthandzako SABC 1 ligama ngiMpumi Mbethe sibonge kakhulu ukuthi ukhethe kuhlala nasi lo mhla ekseni. On the 28th of March, the Hindu community around the world will be celebrating Ram Navami, which commemorates the birth of Lord Rama. The celebration of the birth of Lord Rama or Avatar augurs in wisdom, justice, and most of all, love or bhakti. This is one of the most important festivals on the Hindu calendar, and we wish our viewers peace and blessings during this period. Lomhlala ehlelweni sitawube sixoxisana nemsunguli wemabhizinisi lothandza kusebenzisana nebantfu labasha lodwa sitshela kabanti ukuthi umuntu wende njani na ufuna ukuthi ibhizinisi lakho liphumelele. Ngikhuluma nga Abdullah Verachia. He has served as a high-ranking official in different banking institutions, and he is also the CEO of MVA, a leading consulting firm, and the chairperson of the Collective Genius. Abdullah Verachia, welcome to Identity.
Thank you for having me. Pleasure to be here.
I was very curious about the name Collective Genius. Take me through that.
So Collective Genius actually is an organization that I created with a partner of mine, Novella, way back in 2000 when I was at university for the first time. We happened to go to New York on a visiting delegation with South African high school kids. We were in grade 12 at the time, to the United Nations, and coincidentally it was the first international trip for both of us. And so it served as a life-changing experience. It was an opportunity to meet with 12 like-minded individuals from various parts of South Africa. She was from the Eastern Cape, I was from Mpumalanga. And so we went across to New York and we had this experience at the United Nations where we debated against countries and teams from around the world. And I think that was a defining moment in terms of how we understood the global world and how
we understood young leaders.
It was a United Nations program, and it was effectively, what happened with this program was in 1995, President Nelson Mandela took a group of high school students with him to the United Nations. And this program was then resurrected. And so coming out of that was an appreciation of the role of youth development and the role that youth can play in terms of creating a different type of future. And so we created this organization called the Collective Genius. And the rationale behind the name was because I think it's in the collective that the genius comes out. And so we've been running this company or organization for the last 15 years.
It sounds to me like you've been active as a young person, but I want to know more about your childhood, growing up in Malahleni, where I'm from, in Mpumalanga, and how you made it into such a successful business person.
So I think I often train back to where I grew up, and Malahleni is interesting because now it's at the heart of where Eskom is positioning, and we've got a new power station being set up there. But I go back, and for me a defining moment in my life was the 11th of February 1990 when Nelson Mandela was released. I came from a very politically active family, and so the day the announcement was made, I'll never forget, we had a small 51 centimeter television in our lounge, and we probably had about 150 comrades sitting there. And I was very young, I was 8 years old, and I sat there not understanding what this meant until I had a conversation with one of the comrades who was sitting in our lounge, and he explained what exactly was going through. And it never resonated until I actually seen President Mandela at the time walking through with Winnie Mandela, and that's when things changed. And so for me, a lot of my childhood was defined by that political activism and coming in a home which had every day and every night different people. Every Saturday we'd go out to the stadium and either go to a football game watching Witbank Black Aces or go to a political rally, and that's what defined a lot of what we did.
Did religion and spirituality impact your childhood as much as your political activism?
I think 100%. I think it serves as the anchor and the bedrock of everything that I do, and it's something that I try and inculcate every day in every decision that I take. So whenever I've got a major decision, and this happens all the time, in fact every decision, I pray to God in terms of giving me the best outcome in terms of that decision. And so many times I don't take a decision based on insight and based on analysis and based on all sorts of different perspectives that come in the decision-making process. Everywhere I go, regardless of which part of the world I'm in, I think it's fundamental that I get the opportunity to pray 5 times a day. And so many times I've got some interesting examples. I was once in a very rural part of southeast Kenya, and so I had to find a place and a space to pray. And so a lot of the people who I was working with found it and created that opportunity. And I think this is a reflection of the appreciation of faith from various communities around the world. And so a lot of the fundamentals around the religion that I practice, Islam, is that Islam is a way of life. And so it really defines how we do things on a daily basis, how we eat, how we drink, the way we dress, the way we engage and interact with people. And so it's really intertwining that in every part of your life, so that religion is not boxed in certain parts so that I have to go to a certain place to practice my religion on a certain day. But religion is, from the time you wake up, ingrained in terms of how you do things and the way you engage and interact with people.
I suppose then I need not ask how religion influences the way you conduct business, and your values would then be stemmed in your faith.
So there are many times in the type of work that I do in various geographies that you're tested in terms of the decisions that you need to take. And the test case that I put up, the barometer that I put up is this acceptable in terms of the faith that I practice? And so many times I've lost many transactions. I've lost many deals because I've taken a decision not to go ahead with it because it falls not in favor with my religion. And so that's this reconciliation that a business person needs to take all the time, is that I've got to test the decisions that I take on a daily basis against my faith.
Of all your accolades and achievements, is there one that stands out that you're most proud of?
So one of the things I do, I'm a faculty member at the business school Gibbs, and Gibbs has been ranked as one of the top 40 business schools in the world. And I love being there. I love teaching to different companies, organizations, governments, international organizations, and standing in the classroom and really engaging and interacting with them. And I think for me, teaching is not about somebody standing in the front and imparting knowledge. It's a two-way stream. It's engaging with people from different mindsets, different perspectives, and sharing insights and information. But I think where we are today in 2015 requires a very different type of South African. And that's one of the things that I integrate in my teaching all the time, is how do we as South Africans, regardless of where we are in the corporate sector or in government or in civil society or in media, play another role, because that role is important, where we can roll up our sleeves and say, how can I go back to the community that I came from and in some way mentor young people? How can I give hope to the young people, the majority of whom are unemployed in this country? And for me, that's a critical part of what we can do through this medium of teaching and engaging.
Abdullah, you're an international speaker and you go around the world studying global trends and speaking to different markets. There's a young person who's sitting at home saying, well, I don't have that opportunity to come into a lecture room and hear about these opportunities. What would you say to that individual?
Because we've got availability of internet and broadband and access to information, the opportunity to learn should not only be relegated to a classroom. The world of the internet provides one with the opportunity to have an online university all the time, every day in your daily reality. And so instead of just going out in the communities and playing, we must have this active role of saying, how do I constantly have the learning environment internalized? So that learning is not tick-boxed when we go to school, or learning is not tick-boxed when we go to a community center. Learning must be embedded in everything that we do on a daily basis.
All right, before I let you go, we're going to play a quick word game. Try and give me the quickest answer that comes to your mind, and we're going to get through all these questions in 30 seconds. If you are a finance minister, what would you have prioritized?
Entrepreneurship and the creation of new business.
If you could relive yesterday all over again, what would you change?
I'd try and go back to that special period that we had in 1994 in this country.
And if you had to invest R1 million tomorrow, what would you invest in?
I'd invest in education.
If you were invited to address the United Nations, what would your topic be?
How can we just love each other in this world? There's so much of tension and anxiety and people not liking each other.
And if you had to give a single piece of advice to the 15-year-old Abdul, what would you say to him?
I'll say relentlessly study, because that will craft a very different destiny and a future for you. Spot on.
Thank you so much for your time, Abdullah. Thank you for coming and sharing your words of wisdom with our viewers here on Identity.
Love being here. Thank you for inviting me.
Kuva indzaba ya Abdullah Verachia ngiyakhuthata nje ukuthi kude lokwendlula kudumisela. Ngiyethemba nawe uthethe teluleko takhe. Sisajika etitolo ngemva kwanayi ibreak sitawubuka ukuthi bena njani bantfu labasha eJoseph's Project ungayizama.
This is my identity. This is my identity.
Welcome back to Identity. If you've just tuned in, Abdullah Verachia joined me earlier to talk about entrepreneurship and his journey to success. Inbox yethu igcwele iyaphuphuma. Siyajabula kubona ukuthi niyalithokozela lihlelo futhi nekuthi nifuna kuba ingcenye yalo. Ungasithumela i-email ku identitytvshow@gmail.com. Tweet us your favorite moments on the show @identitytvshow. On today's inspiring story, we aim to showcase the beautiful work that the people of Mzansi are doing with their communities. Our crew visited volunteers from the Joseph's Project who are assisting primary school children with their studies by putting their faith into action. Asambe siyobona ukuthi bakwenda njani lokho.
This is my identity.
Joseph Project is a Christian NPO devoted to providing primary school pupils with the tools necessary to live a victorious life. The volunteers of the organization are members of a dedicated group known as YWAM, Youth with a Mission, who share the desire to enrich the lives of children by giving their time running a preschool and a homework assistance project.
Mo center ke ruta ma grade 1. Re tsa le bona di homework ha ba tswa sekolong re ba thusa ka go tsa di homework. Ha re ba fi dikarabo re dula le bona and then di homework tsa bona re ba thuse re ba bontsha go di homework di tsiwa yang.
I've been working with Joseph Project since March 2014. I didn't really know anything about Joseph Project. I just walked in here during that time of my darkest. I don't know what I was going through during the beginning of this year. When I got here, I found people of the same spirit that I have. So I'm with them every day, and it's the same spirit that we try to instill in these little kids.
This place influences me spiritually because of the environment. It's a very calm environment. You get time to meditate. And the people we have here are very grown spiritually. In terms of Christian values that we have here, we try to encourage the children to be kind to their society, to obey what their parents say, and to follow some of the laws that are set in the Bible.
Our main purpose is not to convert kids when they come here. Our main purpose is to show them love, to show them God's love. So I think with our purpose here is just to show them that love, to just continue to love them, to teach them, and that kind of thing. And I think through that, God will minister to them. So we're not here to Bible bash or shove our beliefs onto them, but to show them, who God is through our actions.
First of all, YWAM is nothing but a Christian organization. It's worldwide. So what's happening is it complements even my religion. Mina ekhaya la ngisuka khona mkhulu wami vele ungumfundisi yabona and type. So vele ngikhule ngingumfana lo yesonto. YWAM stands for Youth with a Mission. So we're doing nothing but just making sure that tomorrow's generation is on the right path in terms of God, knowing God and everything, because I believe it's something that everybody needs to know of, even if you're not really a Christian, but you do believe in God in a way, So it's only right that there are people out there who are serving in that way, like letting people know on how to handle issues, because you'd be surprised the number of things the kids share and they can't even fix it all. But as soon as we sit around in that circle and we discuss our lives, they then get to know that, oh, okay, so if this happens, then this is how I can handle it, which is, it's more like life skills.
I actually was one of the kids when I was younger. When Joseph Project opened up, I was in grade 4. and it really did help me and benefit me a lot, where my marks improved drastically, and yeah, I just really enjoyed the place. It was a good community. And then I got back into contact with the director, and then he asked me to come. You know, I did training through YWAM, and then yeah, I just decided to stay because I do love working with them a lot, and I saw what it did in my life.
Bana, it has been something that I always loved to be involved in Bana. Limo dikolong previously nekesebetsa le dikolo ka bana, and when I started here kile ka rata pleke ena. Number one, it's a Christian place, and ke yona ntho ntse gore ke be more interested and want to learn more ka ha yona.
I come here because this is a great aftercare and I love it. And I also like teachers, and I like the new teachers that come here. And there is a playing room for children to play, and there is time to do homework and time to eat. When it's time to worship, we sing, and it's fun. That's why I like coming here.
The relationship with the kids is great. They are very open, you know, they want to talk to us. So I really enjoy working with them. I enjoy, you know, talking to them, having them open up, and having them, you know, wanting to share parts of their lives with you. And yeah, it's definitely a struggle, especially with kids coming from different schools. The education levels are different. So what I do find is that you do have to give one-on-one attention to those who are struggling, and then encourage them to help each other with homework.
Etiquette and unsafe shelters.
First of all, I'd like to say to all of the guys that God is not a religion. He is not a religion. He is your creator. Don't try and hide your feelings for God, right, to people, because you might never know. You might change someone's life by you becoming a God-fearing person or showing it to someone. You see, if someone can see, maybe there's people who look up to you. So as a guy, if someone maybe sees you praying or maybe changing your ways, maybe your other friends, the guys, might also follow through. Maybe they're just waiting for that one person who can do it, and then they follow through. Because people like following trends.
Like, just open any verse.
This is my identity.
We all need to find a sense of belonging to something larger in life, either by joining initiatives like Joseph's Project or something within your community. Lengingakusho kubantu labasha ukuthi mabasungule tinhlangano letakha mphakathi ngobe ngiyo indlela yekutikhuthaza uhlale ucucudekile. When we come back, we take a look at what the world of apps and movies has in store for us. Siyabuya nyana.
This is my identity. This is my identity.
Ngiphinze ngikubingelele ngikwamukele ku-Identity. If you've just joined us, you missed out on a very engaging chat with entrepreneur and international speaker Abdullah Verachia. We also visited a group of volunteers from Joseph's Project. Now it's that time for our media review segment in What's APPenning. Financial discipline is certainly not easy, especially with unforeseen expenses and the rising cost of living. Today we take a look at Pocket Expense, which is an app about how to be savvy with your finances. Here are the full details on how to use this app. Pocket Expense is a free, full-featured, powerful and easy-to-use finance and expense tracking app that will help you track and understand your personal finances. This app brings all your financial accounts together, categorizes your transactions, tracks all your bills, lets you set budgets, and helps you achieve your saving goals. In just minutes, you'll see where your money is going and where you could save. When you click on Track Your Accounts, you can easily input and manage your accounts. You are supplied with a set of icons for your accounts, and all transactions related to the same account will be displayed in one page so you can manage them easily. On the Budget Management tab, you can stay in control and monitor your spending with the help of this budget tracker feature. You can always see how much money is left until your budget is gone and whether you might better postpone a purchase. The Track Your Bills tab will make sure that you are never late for even one bill by tracking each bill, which is tailored with different reminder alert periods. Download this app now from your app store so you can begin the second quarter of the year financially savvy. That is certainly an app worth looking into if you need to take control of your finances and keep the purse strings tight. Next, we have a thought-provoking movie review entitled Women in Gold.
Your son, the lawyer, how is he? Some letters I found in my sister's belongings. I need advice from someone I can trust. Can't you just help me on the side?
There is no on the side. This is a full-time job.
Oh, how can you see out of those glasses? Filthy.
Women in Gold is a remarkable true story of one woman's journey to reclaim her heritage and seek justice for what happened to her family. 60 years after she fled Vienna during World War II, an elderly Jewish woman, Maria Altman, played by the talented Helen Mirren, starts her journey to retrieve family possessions seized by the Nazi. Among them is Klimt's famous painting, The Lady in Gold.
Now to take a look.
Could you drive a little faster?
We're gonna be there 4 hours early.
But I want to buy perfume and cognac in duty-free. I never thought I'd come back.
Together with her inexperienced but brave young lawyer, they embark upon a major battle which takes them all the way to the heart of the Austrian establishment and the US Supreme Court, and forces her to confront difficult truths about the past along the way. This movie is worth watching on a Sunday.
People see a masterpiece by one of Austria's finest artists, but I see a picture of my aunt, a woman who used to talk to me about life. We should be reunited with what is rightfully ours.
We certainly had a fantastic episode filled with an inspiring guest, young people volunteering their services to school children, and handy media reviews. Ungakhohlwa ukuxhumana nathi ku-Facebook, Twitter kanye na ku-Instagram @identitytvshow. Singajabulela kuvaluvo lwakho na ku-email identitytvshow@gmail.com. Today is World Day for Water, which has been observed since 1993 by the United Nations General Assembly, and the day has grown significantly ever since. You can show your support by using water sparingly. Do share your thoughts on this topic by using the hashtag WaterIs and tag us @identitytvshow. Nglogo besimphathele kona Mpumi Mbethe hambisana nelithimba le-Identity. Siyevalelisa sithi uNkulunkulu anibusise. Here's Isabe Novella playing us out with Moya.